Yes, another day, albeit very late this time. I've been configuring the. Oh yeah, speaking of which, give me 1 second. Give me one second. 1 second. Here we go. Sorry about that. I have forgotten to update both my scenes in OBS. What was I saying? Yes, I found some files, some old resources of previous game development that I've been working on. These are earlier prototypes from 2015 of this project, my vision, as you could say. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what I had. Ah, yes. This was made in Unity in the early 2015, where I was testing the player movement, the housing, how it would work when you transition to being outside or inside a house, as well as sprinting. I believe I did in this test. And in this house, there is stairs. When you go to that little tile there, you go to the next floor. And we are going to have that in our game as well. And everything you see here is something you will be able to build yourself. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be this art style, because it most definitely will not be this art style. I am considering to go more... it looped over to my old remix here. I'm considering to move towards creating a more pixelated, old school type of game. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Let me see if I can't search up something. Let's see. I don't know, 16-bit games, maybe? Dare I search? No, well, I don't know. Let's see. Overworld. There has to be some examples. Not like this. I would, maybe it's 8-bit. Is that the one? 8-bit. Yeah, this looks more like the type of art style I would like to go with. And for two reasons. One, it's much easier to create, well, content as a sole developer when you have to work with pixels instead of having to draw complicated, details. And another reason is it will open up for us to be more creative with what we're making, with the game, and so on. Now, this may change. This is just the initial idea. It really depends how it gets once we start developing on this. As you can see on these examples here, which is the prototype, early type of the game, I was imagining something like this. And maybe this is fine. It's not too detailed, and it's not as, well, undetailed either. It's kind of just in the middle, just enough to give it a little fun, colorful look of a game. And here you can see I'm testing the HUD and minimap. Let me go back there. Turn off the repeating here. There we go. Here we have added a minimap. This is also Unity, a very old project I worked on for quite some time when I went to college, I believe, just to learn the fundamentals of programming. And I would like to have something like this. Now this is a very simplistic approach perhaps, and we'll see. Maybe if we get some artists to help out, that we'll get something different or better. I don't know. The most important part is that it remains consistent throughout the project. I don't want to move on from, you know, highly detailed to suddenly going into retro pixels. Unless we start with retro pixels. I don't know. That's something we'll figure out. Let's see. What's this? This is an inventory test, isn't it? Run this. Let's see what we have here. There's no sound, by the way. That's why it's quiet. In this video, I'm testing the inventory. As you can see in the lower middle, we are picking up a key that allows us to access and open the door. And the same with the green key. And we're gonna do this pretty soon, actually. Oh my god. Let's see what else we have. What else do we have to look at here? What's this? Inventory bag plus energy drink. This should be fun. So here we have an inventory bag. Yes, and we have inventory. Cool. And we have energy drinks, not Red Bull. So what am I doing? Can I don't remember if I could I drink it? Can I use the item? Oh. And that increases speed. So after 2 Red Bulls, I'm going pretty fast. 3 Red Bulls. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. Now I don't think we're gonna well, I mean, why not? Well, no, I don't think we're gonna do that. That's a fun thing to do though. Maybe we have some sort of event at some point. Maybe I don't know. There are a lot of things we can do with this. The sky is the limit. I even found an old game I worked on, but we're not gonna look at that. We have other things. If you want to look at that, let me know, and we'll possibly get back to it sometime. Yes, what was I doing? Let me just play the music at least, so we have some background sounds, so it's not too quiet. Let's see, let's add all of the Techno Axe music. It's always smooth and relaxing. Let's do some randomizing here. Okie dokie. Let me minimize this and minimize as much as I can so we can see what's going on. Yes, last time off camera I was fiddling a little bit about the reconnecting to our server, because currently when you're hosting a server on Godot and then you join with a player, the client, join game, connect, and when you're in the game, if the server suddenly disappears, we want to be able to reconnect when the server reappears. I did add some logging and testing with this, but I couldn't quite get it to work. So I'm a little unsure. Unless the overlays is not quite right here. Maybe fix the overlays. I don't know why it. This is supposed to be here, right there. There we go. That's a little better. Someone recommended to me that I should add follower counts on whatnot on the screen. Maybe there's some psychology behind that. I don't know. Anyway, where was I? Yes, the client. The client. We need to fix the client so we can reconnect. If I were to start this again. Nothing happens. Where did the client go? Did I close the client? Failed to connect to the server. Maybe I waited too long. Let me try it again. Server is up. Let's join the game. There we go. Join game. Connect. Quit server. The game is closed. Let's try to open the server again, see what happens. Server asks us to authenticate. Now this is the problem I ran into last time. Oh, interesting. Interesting, really? The multiple instance is already active. Huh. Let me comment that out. The part where we set up a new client. The way we handle this, rather the way I handle that, was to, when we disconnect from a server, when this triggers, we want to first pause everything. We don't want any process to be running. We don't want anything to move. We just want to freeze. And I don't know why I made this boolean here. I don't think I need that, so I'm gonna remove that. And I'm set a status as error unavailable. And then while we're unavailable or not okay, we're going to loop. And the thought was we would try to create a new client until we get status okay. However, looking at the logs, I'm a bit unsure if this is the right approach. So I'm going to try to, well, maybe I shouldn't try anything. Let me comment this out and see what happens. Stop. The server is still running, that's fine. Now we are stuck here asking Pierre for authentication. We don't have a timeout for this. Maybe that's something we should add. And I should become better by adding the to-dos on our GitHub page. Let's see, PTAO client. Now the reason I'm hesitating to use this as much is because I have issues with the project, the way project works on GitHub. I cannot add tasks that belongs to everyone. I have to assign a repository to the specific task, even if a task overlaps 2 repositories, and that's really annoying. Fine, I'll turn the way to use API call, do not want to use attribute. Yes, done, we did this. Haha, yes. Let's see, as a player, I want to know what is nearby without spending a lot of time loading. Yes, that's something we want to do, but that's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now is this. As a player, I would like to automatically reconnect to the server when it goes away. Or rather, after it comes back. So that I can continue playing without having to stop the application. Restart the game. It's a game. So that's what I'm doing right now. And this is both a client and a server issue, which is why I really dislike this. I cannot do this without setting an issue. Can I add details to this? Can I guess I can add details here. Can I add titles? Ooh, very good. I can. Excellent. So there are still options for us. So as a player, I would like to automatically reconnect to the server when it comes back so that I can continue playing without restarting the game. And that's what we're trying to do. And apparently when I tried to do that by using a network create client, it complained that we already have a network client. Does that mean I have to remove the network node, or does it mean I don't need this? Will I automatically be reconnecting? That is the question. Let's see what happens. Join the game, connect. I'm moving around, everything is good, there are weapons here. Let's pick this one up. It's mine now. And let's disconnect the server and see what happens. Uh-oh. Server's gone, getting a lot of debugging errors. Okay, let's hit play and see what happens. Is it going to reconnect? Is the debugging errors gonna stop? No, it doesn't seem that way. That is unfortunate. So we have to find a way to handle this. This is just spamming because we are in a process. I believe it's probably Pistol. In the player, we try to use is network master and we cannot find. We find out that the multiplayer instance isn't active and this is in a process loop. So we need to stop the processing. That's the first thing we need to do. So let's try that. Disconnected. Where is the? I believe it's a server, right? Yeah, here it is. Let's pause the processing and see if the errors stops. The server is still up, so that should be fine. Joining the game, connect. Here we go. I'm still here. We have a new weapons because we restarted the server. We have not added saving yet. The server doesn't save, meaning we don't make the world persistent yet, but we'll get there. Let's close this now. No, not this one. The server. Close the server, start the server. Ideally, what I want to happen is when the server reconnects, we want the client to synchronize with the server again. Doing pretty much the same job we did in the beginning. Now, this is not working. We still have server disconnected, but at least now we don't have the issues here. We can ignore these warnings. These are annoying warnings that should be gone. The reason for that is the purpose of self is to tell the compiler that this is a class variable. This is a parameter variable. Argument. So it shouldn't complain about this. I'm gonna disable that. Ignore. Yeah, ignore that. Ignore. No. I don't want to ignore like that. No. I want to ignore everything that has to do with that. Let's see. Error. Warnings. Where is highlight? No. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I have seen it before. I just don't know where it is. Output. Where can it be? Probably somewhere. Text editor. No, it should be. Wouldn't it be editor? Interface. Editor. Let me just go through them all. I will see it pretty quickly. I hope. Huh. It's not here. Could it be the project? Project. Ah, layers. That's not what. Wait. No, debug, GDScript. There we go. Warnings. Shadow variable. We don't care about. Perfect. Done. Is it gone? Why is it still there? Why is it still there? Let me restart. Can I clear this? Can I clear? Ah, that's... Okay, so how are we going to do this? It complained that we already have something. I did notice that even though the server wasn't up, if I close this and after the client is running, it's still gonna get error 22 and then it's gonna get okay status, even though we don't have anything. And that is a little confusing, because I don't understand why that is the case. I guess I can uncomment this and try it one more time. And if we don't get this within half an hour, I'm gonna end this. We will continue to something else and we'll get back to this one, because this is not so important. This is just more of a quality of life feature for us while we're working on this game. So I wouldn't have to restart every time we restart the server, you know? Let's see here. I'm curious what's gonna happen now. We're not gonna set this, but we do a loop, and nah, it's not gonna work at all. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Yes, it's just gonna loop over and over, and it's gonna remain that way because we're not changing the status. So this was a stupid idea. Let me add that again. Okay. And let me remove the placeholder, because we are using a lot of time looking at the placeholder when you start the game. And I realized that's going to also take a lot of time in the long run if you have to do this every single time. Let's see. Is loading false? Is loading true? Let's just set it to false, because we don't have loading yet. Let's run this again. There we go. I can just skip it right away, hit connect. And while we connect, I'm going to start the server. There we go. Let's end the server. As you can see, when I closed the server, we went through the loop one time. We got status 22. Then we went to loop a second time and we got status okay. For whatever reason. I am wondering if it is that we did it so fast while the service was shutting down that it managed to send a last okay before dying. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm wondering. Let's try to add a delay. Let's force a delay. There should be an example in one of the database scripts on the server, I think. Database client, web client. The web client should have that somewhere. There we go. OS delay usec. Let's just copy that. Where is the server? There it is. Let's make a 1 second delay. Once we disconnect, wait, pause. Well, after we have paused. And see how it will behave now when our server disconnects. Placeholder, yes. Join game, connect. We are in the game, we have a little sprite. We have weapons, let's pick it up. And let's pretend to play, and suddenly the server disconnects. It just disappears. What the hell happened? Okay, nothing happening. Oh, okay, let's try to play and see if we can reconnect somehow. Well, doesn't look that way. Oh, what happened? Server asked us to authenticate, and this is what I can't figure out. When did this happen? This happened a long time ago. So we can ignore this. Because now we're not there anymore. We are in this place. The server asks us to authenticate. And this is the part I cannot figure out. Because once we've done this, we're going to send an RPC ID to the server. The ID being 1, which is the server ID. I guess I should rename this to server ID, shouldn't I? Actually, this is the server ID, so never mind. Can I use this? That would be nice if I could. I probably can. And the server does not receive this call, for whatever reason. Let's close the server and take a look. So we expect a response in this function, remote function respond with authentication with a string username. What happened? What happened? The server disconnected suddenly? Oh, I shut it off. Okay. Well, ignore that. We are not getting in here. Let me print. Respond authentication triggered by a client. So if I were to run the server again, restart this, hit the play button and cross my fingers and toes and hopefully it should work. Join game. Move. The server shuts down. We cannot play anymore. The server should restart and we should be able to rejoin without having to log out and log in, whatever. As you can see here, the flow of this. The peer connected with ID, this is a confirmation that we have now a client that's connected to us. On the right side, we can see we have successfully connected to the server, which is the equivalent of the peer connected to the ID. Then we, the server, ask the peer ID, the client, to authenticate. We then receive this message from the server. The server has asked us to authenticate. However, this is the part I can't figure out. It's still, it doesn't do this. Let me debug. Maybe that will help us. If we debug, we should be able to find the problem. By the way, let me know if the screen is not quite right. Because if I work on the right side and you don't see anything, that means I haven't configured the movement to be as good as I would like it to be. And I apologize if that is the case. Just let me know. Okay. Is the server up? Yes, it is. Join game, connect. There we go. We have a breakpoint. That is the first. This is the first time we do this. So I'm just gonna continue this as normal. We have now continued. If we look at the server, we have now asking peer for authentication. What? 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 Oh, we haven't connected yet. What? What happened? That's strange. Okay, start the server. Oh, it's probably because I paused too early. Let's try again. Continue. Skip. Join game. Connect. Let's skip that. Now we're in the game. I didn't continue fast enough. That's why we locked it out. So now, when we leave, quit the server and rejoin with the server, we should now trigger a breakpoint in our client code, which we did. Good. This does not happen. It doesn't. So let's figure out if there's any property or if we're missing something. There has to be something that explains this. Our network. We have a network node. Compression mode, none. Transfer channel count, always ordered. Refuse new connections, transfer mode. I don't know. It's really strange. Why doesn't this happen? Is the server not accepting any... Okay, so when we debug this, our server is not recognizing the peer anymore and tells us it has disconnected. So that makes it a little more difficult to debug. But either way, there is no reason for it to not work. What's the difference with this between the... Hold on. I just realized something. The client is able to communicate with the server is able to communicate with the client. The client is not able to answer back to the server beyond a confirmation that a connection has been established. Let me verify. Let me turn off this. Run this client. Join game, connect. So if I now quit, let's just check if it is true that the client is just unable to communicate with the server. So we can receive messages, but we cannot send them. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We are getting a new peer ID when a new connection has been established. So could it be that this peer ID, which has previously been stored, ruins the communication? So this client doesn't have the same peer ID as you would expect here. In fact, the server doesn't even have that peer ID, which was previously stored here, and we are trying to message with the previous peer ID. So how do we fix that? Can we update that? Now, I don't even know if that's true or not, but that's the only thing I can imagine right now that could possibly prevent the client from communicating back. Now, the server has the peer ID because it has established a connection. It decided the peer ID for the client, but the client hasn't received its own peer ID, I suspect. Let's see if we can find some information about peer ID. Well, these are nodes. I want search help. Well, I guess we can go with nodes if we go with the network API. Multiple API. Let's try that one. Take a look. Where's my coffee? There it is. By default, Sintro has a reference to this class that is used to provide multiple capabilities, RPC, RSet, and so on. It is possible to override the multiple API instance used by specific nodes by setting the node custom multiple property. Let's see. The server gets new peer IDs, but we don't. So what we need to do is we need to remove our previous network. In one way or another. Let's see. Maybe we can find something here. Use new connections. Clear. What's this? Oh, clears the current multiplayer API network state. I do know what I'm doing. Of course I know. Maybe. I don't. I think I know. But we'll see. We'll see. Where's the server? Connection disconnect. Here we go. So when this happened, I'm waiting 1 second on purpose. We may not need that. But let's get our tree. How do I network? How do I get the network API? Let's see here. How do I access this? What's an example here? Clear. Yeah, this is the method to this. Where is this? This is scene to has a reference to this class. Let's do some searching. There has to be answers somewhere online. Godot Engine, multiplayer. Reset connection. What we don't want to do is reload everything. But that may be the easiest to do. Let's find out. Wait a moment. Hold on. Hold on. We have something. We have a network there. That should be it. Connection failed, close network. What if I close network here? Close network. Close the connection. Ignore it if no connection is currently established. If the server tries to notify all clients before forcibly disconnecting them. So maybe this one. Let's try that. Let's try this. And then we'll try close afterwards and see if that works. If it does, that means we will be able to re-establish a new connection with the server after a server becomes available again. So on the left side is the server. Always left. There's nothing happening here. So you don't need to look at this. So don't worry about that. It's just an empty window. However, this side has the things we want to look at. So with our player, if I just pick up the weapon, move here, and then suddenly the server disconnects. It just disappears. And then the server reappears. I'm waiting for something. Something should happen. It could be because I disconnected. Does that mean this would work? Can I then do this again? Status, network client. Okay, let me try clear and see what happens. There will have to be answers somewhere. Let me clear the console log. Join a game. The server now disconnects suddenly, randomly. What? Non-existing function player based. Okay. Networked multiplayer enet. Perhaps there's something there we can use. But this did not seem to work. It actually looked like this prevented it from reconnecting altogether. We did manage to reconnect somewhat last time when we didn't have this. Maybe it's a flaw. Let me try it again. Maybe it's just some coding issue or bad luck has something to do with it. Server goes down, server comes up immediately. Yes, so now it doesn't work. We cannot just establish a connection with it. Let's see, why is that? What else prevents us from doing that? What do we usually do when we start the game as a client? We connect to the server, we get the IP port and create a client from the network. Do we have to create a new node? And then you set the network as the peer. Does connection fail? We reset. How about this? How about copying this? Let's try this. Maybe there's something to this. Let's see. Okay, the server is up and available to us soon. And I hit the play button. The server joins. No, the player joins the server. While we're here, the server disappears. And we are mad and angry and frustrated. The server reappears. But the player doesn't know. The player will never know now. Wait. Wait. Wait a moment. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. This isn't right at all. It's supposed to... What? Okay, play. Something really strange is going on. Enjoy the game. Server disconnects. And what happens is, we attempt to reconnect. Receive status 0. Connection is supposedly re-established. So we are doing this after the server disappears and we get an OK status. What? How can we get an OK status? If I try this. Hold on. Network connect. You're connecting already, okay? We create a client. Close connection. When we disconnect, that's probably what's happening anyway. Oh, maybe I have to set this. Let's try to set this. No, it shouldn't matter. I'll try it anyway, but it shouldn't matter. This is hardcore networking here. Probably not very interesting to watch. Connecting. Server is down. Let's get the server. And this works fine. We can wait for the server when we initially try to connect to it. However, when the server goes away, we are not able to re-establish connection, it seems. And this happened before we actually established. Where's the game? There it is. And nothing else happened. We didn't get any connection. We didn't get anything else. And this is the part that is really, really strange. This worked before I did this. If I just do this. We already have set this network node, but I might as well keep that. If I do this. Start the server. Start the player. Join the game, hit the connect, server disappears, we are mad, server reappears, we should be happy but we are not reconnecting. Hey. Now we got here, now we got to the point where the server asks to syndicate, but we cannot speak to the server because the server doesn't know our ID. We have not updated our ID. How do we update our new ID? Shouldn't be, is that a bug? Could that be a bug? Godot Engine bug? I imagine that could be a bug. Wait. Okay. We are clearing the world in order to reload everything once again, just the way we did the first time we joined the game. The first time we joined the game, we join via pressing the connect button. By pressing the connect button, we set the username. This is just metadata, our username. This doesn't matter. However, this matters. This is what connects to the server. We are in the game state. We are just using the server directly from the game state. And we may change this. I don't like the way we're handling this. But that's a problem for the future. We're then connecting to the server. We're only going in here. And then we create a network client and we set a network peer. Do we need to do this as well? This should be fine, maybe. I don't know. Let me try something. Let me set up network func. Let's try to do this. When we have disconnected, let's make sure the connection is closed. Let's make sure we don't have a new network peer. We're gonna simulate this as much as possible when we rejoin the game. Rather, when we join the game initially. So we are reversing this. And then we're gonna remove this just by creating a new node on top of this. So once we are close connection, we set it to null, and it will be essentially gone after we do this. Setting my network again, one time. And then we try to connect by running this. So now I'm wondering, do we even need a while loop here? Because when we went here, we didn't need a while loop. We just did it, and then it waited for it somehow. Even though the server wasn't up when we did this, it just waited a little bit. So maybe the while loop is redundant and we don't need that. So let's comment that one out and try it without it. So set up network, attempting to reconnect. We do the same thing all over again. Same thing, same IP, same port, same network, same conditions. Let's remove the yield. Let's remove the world before we do that. Because what this is going to do, if it works the way it did before, we're gonna get a connection succeeded initially. And then the server is gonna ask us, the client, for some information. It's gonna ask us to authenticate ourselves, which is here. And then we are trying to send a message back, and that's what fails. Probably because something is not quite right with the network. With ourselves, our client network. So let's try this. Let me queue free first, before anything else. Remove everything. After we close connection, setting it null, remove the world. The world is gone. Let us try it again. Create the client, create the player. Server. Joining, connect. Error! Oh no! What is wrong? Cannot create client in network? What? How's it? What? I'm so confused. How? What? Are we doing this before we do ready? Okay, in which case I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do this. Not here, but in the part where we disconnect. So create network, set up the network. Let's try it one more time and see if it works. I believe it will be worth doing this in the end, because we're gonna save a lot of time by doing this. Because while we develop this game, this multiplayer game, we are going to be spending a lot of time stopping, restarting the server, for example. And being able to change things in the server simply by turning off the server, making changes, and restarting the server without having to restart the client is a huge bonus. Okay, quitting. Server is gone. Let's hit play again. Hopefully, that's gonna allow our client to re-establish connect. Yes! We're getting something. We don't have a player, but we're getting something. Let's see. Remote. We have a world. We have players, but that's not us anymore. Because the player we once upon a time was, is gone. And now our client doesn't know where to go. So how do we do that? If I were to make a little change to our player. We have a current camera, apparently. If I move, nothing happens. What if I stop and start this? Okay, now it works. Can I move? No, I cannot move. Oh my god. Okay, so what is different than normal? It kinda worked, but not quite. We were able to load the world, all the data we needed, the entities and everything, over again. But not our player. Our player is not ours anymore. We need to make it ours. It has to be our player. Let's see. Let's follow the flow. We managed to authenticate. We send the server our username, which is the authentication for now. We're gonna replace that with some tokens and passwords later on. And then the server feeds us back the player data. Now we're gonna load the player data. Same way we did before. We get our username, we get our previous position, our movement speed, and so on, which is stored in the server side. Then we attempt to load the game. Dictionaries. Hold on, dictionaries. The game state dictionaries. Does that mean we should clear this? Perhaps we have a clear function would be... Yeah, perhaps a clear function would be useful here. Let's see. Load game. Before we load the game, this happens once. Players. Self. Okay, we are resetting it. We're setting it from the data we get from the server, so that should be fine. We load the world, add the world to the scene. Then we hide the main menu if it's visible. We spawn the players. For each player, we create a new player. For each player ID, that is. And that includes ourself, I believe. Let's see. Set unique ID as network master, so it controls itself. Player ID. Hold on. The player ID is not actually a player ID, it's a peer ID. So I'm gonna update that, because this is misleading. Calculate username. If this is ours, get network unique ID. Did that change? Did this change? This has to change. If it didn't change, that may be a reason for us not being able to move anywhere when we rejoin the game after the server goes down and up. Let's do some printing. Server disconnected. Connection succeeded. Let's print this. Print. Network. Well, it's probably just our peer ID, but network. Unique ID. Peer ID? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. But I'm not entirely certain. So when you connect, we're gonna print this and be more aware of this. When we disconnect, I'm gonna print this also right after we disconnect. And right after we attempt to reconnect, I'm going to print it again. After reconnecting, setting up for a reconnection. It'll be visible enough, I think. Okay, let's try it again. Yes, close the server, reopen the server. Player, join, connect, here we are. Hello weapon 1, hello weapon pistol 1 2 3, taking all of them. Yeah, give me. Thanks to our anti-cheat detection, no one can cheat and just get the weapon from far away. Let's stop the server. Interesting, I'm still here. Why am I still here? Why am I still here? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Let's restart the server. Now I'm supposedly in the game again. Let's take a look at the logs and see what we have. Full screen. Get some more view. Okay, this is our initial network ID. 254. The second one is right after disconnecting. Same, 254. After we attempt to reconnect, we have a new pair ID. Ah, good. Okay, so that works. That's probably why it now worked more than before. What I cannot figure out is why our camera won't go to the player. Why it's not us and why it's not current. It is current, but our camera doesn't. Our scene doesn't seem to realize that is the active camera, even though it's set to active. Rather, current. There has to be answers here, somewhere. I cannot move either. I have a fixed position right here. Yeah, so we at least now we have the correct ID. So that also means our client should have the remote player with the correct ID here as well, right? Yes, it does. But why is it not set to us? Why is this not our player? Did we forget something? I can imagine we did. Let's go into the code and take a look. If I can... There it is. Ah, I know why. Because we paused the game. Whoopsie. We paused it right there. And we didn't unpause it. Does that mean we don't have to pause it at all? Let's try to not pause at all. And see what happens. Let's clean a little bit. It's starting to look very messy. Keep that one. Okay, try it again. Now it should work. Please work. I don't have all day for this. I do have all day, but I don't want to spend all day for this. To make actual content, actual games, actual mechanics, work on inventory, work on movement, work on aiming, work on things that has meaning. Hello, I'm here. Okay. Server leaves. Oh no, we lost internet connection. What are we gonna do? This is the point we would show a message, like screen. Server disconnected. Attempting to reconnect. Server rejoins. What? Failed to rejoin? Object was freed on or unreferenced while signals being emitted from it. Try connecting to the signal using connected deferred. What? Can it be because of this? No. Really? No. I don't believe that. Maybe I wasn't fast enough. Maybe I was too slow. So if I were to start this again, start the server as well, and try it again, but faster, not slow. Okay, server goes down for a second. Oh no, disconnect. Or maybe you have bad internet. I don't know. Whatever. The server comes back up immediately. Oh, I'm here. I can move. Yes, it works. But now the second problem is, if we don't reopen the server quickly enough, it's gonna fail. So we need to figure out how to handle that. Yes, I know. We can try to auto-reconnect. Let's see. Where am I? This is the server. Auto-reconnect is set to true. That's our default value. We want to reconnect to the server when it goes down. So when we disconnect, we're attempting to set up a new connection immediately. And when we do get a connection, we will get a connection succeeded. The server is going to ask us for authentication. We're going to get the player data. We're going to get the world data and add ourselves and other players. We're going to reload the world again. However, if this fails, the server disconnect part fails, and you get a connection failed message, that means all hope is lost. Except no. Because we can try to reconnect, right? So if we were to put some of this inside, let's say, a method or function, perhaps we can redo this. We already have a OS delay. We probably don't need that, so I'm going to remove that. But we already have the code. Let me remove all of this so I can... yeah, let's keep that one. That's good. I'm going to reconnect. Remove this. We may not need to do this over again. We don't need to set it null. We don't need to... We might not need that. I suspect we do, though. For now, let's do that. Let's keep this. So these two lines are the same as in here. So we might be able to reuse this. Now the problem is that this should be set to true perhaps only after we have succeeded. So by default it's going to be false, because we may get connection failed from the main menu. And then you don't want to automatically reconnect. Then you want to, try another server or something. So when we have connected to our server, we're going to set it to true. So we will now attempt to reconnect when we get the connection failed in the future. So if auto-reconnect is true, we want to try to reconnect to the server. So we're doing this. And we're doing what? This. So I guess it should happen after this then, right? Let's move that one down to the bottom. So if reconnect is true, we're going to attempt to reconnect. And it's going to happen immediately. Like it means we're going to try to connect. And until we get a failed, we're going to try to reconnect again. It's going to wait a little bit and so on. So it's not going to be an infinite loop. I hope. Let's try it. Now, the moment of truth. The moment that will make this all worth it. All the time and suffering on the multiplayer networking. Placeholder, join the game, connect. I'm in the game, hooray. I take this gun, I take this gun, I take this gun. I don't want that gun, it's a bad gun. And suddenly the server disappears. What happened? It doesn't work. I will rage on the forums. I'll wait a bit longer. I want this to say failed to connect before I attempt to re-establish the server. We may even add a counter. Perhaps you'll only retry, 3-4 times. Or 2 times. Or whatever. Oh, I see. Let's see. This is what you have to do when it disconnects initially. And that's just to ensure that we don't try to reload components on top of components. Because once we have established connection, it's going to start the process all over again. And it will be a bit more difficult to sneak this in the middle of creating the world and whatnot. So instead of putting it here, I'm going to put it in the server disconnected part. So before we reconnect, we're going to remove our world. And that should hopefully solve this problem. And perhaps we do want some limit of how many times we want to reconnect. But I don't think it's that important. And actually, no, we don't want that. Because we're developing this game. I don't want to have to figure out that, oh, I waited too long before starting the server. So let's try this again. Now the server is not up yet, but I'm gonna connect before, because, you know, why not? The server is now up again. Our client's gonna recognize we have a server again. Hooray! Let's move around. Pick up this one. There's no persistency just yet, by the way. That's why we're getting the pistols every time we start a server. We'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. The server's down. Okay, let's rejoin. I'm gonna do 2 tests just to make sure it works. Server's back. Come on, please work. Please work. I don't like how slow it is. What it appears to be doing is that we are, from the client side, immediately when we are creating a new client, is to send a message to the server, and then we wait for the message. We don't try to re-ask the server if you're there. We ask it one time, I'm waiting for a response. Hello? No one? No response? And that's why it takes long here. But it seems to be working, even if that is the case. And that's a good thing. Yes. Oh. Okay, let's quit the server again. Oh, crap. The server sucks. Maybe someone's hosting it in Alaska somewhere. Or maybe you have bad connection. I mean, that's a possibility. What sucks about this is that, well, we'll have to reload the game. Ah, it works. Yes. Okay, the server goes away again. But now we're gonna wait a bit longer. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for another connection failed message. Iced coffee, which is just coffee that's cold now. There seems to be a few lurkers here. Ah, attempt failed to connect to the server. Attempted to reconnect. Yes, excellent. We also have a few errors, supposedly. Apparently, these errors aren't error-worthy. They should be warnings. Because let's see. Yeah, these should be warnings. These are definitely not error level. Why are these considered errors? It just tells that we have a node that has is on reference, while a signal is being emitted from it. Interesting. Am I connected? No. Let's start a server. And please, player will rejoin now. Yes, here we go. Hello, we're in the game again. That's a good thing. But I still want to fix one last thing with this before we move on to adding player data to the database, which will go pretty fast, I believe. Yes, it will go fast. When I say add player data to the database, I mean to get the player data from the database to our game, as well as to save it when a player disconnects from the server side only. The server has the solution, not this client. Let's see, how are we going to do this? I'm curious. When you create a client, we get statuses, we get an error back. What I don't know is, can I set a wait time on this? Because if I can do that, it will make our life easier when we try to reconnect. Then I want to specify we want to wait 2 seconds before each attempt. So we will not wait more than 2 seconds every time we try to reconnect. How do we do that? Is there a wait thing or a max wait time or something like that? There should be, right? I mean, it would make sense. I mean, where else are you supposed to server relay? Let's see. This is inherits networked multiplayer peer. Transfer mode, refuse new connection. No, Paul. What's Paul do? Wait. Can I use this? In a loop? Maybe. Yes. We have examples for this. We have examples. Now where? It was on the database, I believe. Where's the singletons? This is the client. That's not where we have it. Let's close the server and try it. The singleton database. Yeah, I should remove the page probably. We don't need the page anymore. I'll leave it for now. Maybe I'll find out how to do. We are trying to pull. Can I get the web client? There it is. Here we are doing an HTTP pull. So while I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna try the pulling and see if we can make that work. But I'm a bit unsure if it's gonna. Let's try. Let's try it. We want our network to retry every 2 seconds. So while we attempt to reconnect between here, well, maybe after, we want to pull it. But how do we get the status? Can I check if I have connection? Is there a function to check connection? Like has connection check or something like that? Create close connection, this can appear. Okay, there should be a way to configure the wait time. There has to be a property or a function you can set instead of having to manually pull and set the time between every second or so you want to ask again. It wouldn't make sense to not have that functionality. Okay, peer, packet peer, multiple peer, GD native. Let's see, wait to finish. No, network, pull. Let's do a search. There has to be something online that will tell us something about this. Networking, high-level networking, tutorials, yes. Create server, port, max client, bandwidth, port. Ah, no. What? No, that's not it. Oh boy. What is this? No, has to be something. We have to wait. We have to set the wait time. Wait times. Wait time, delay, very time. There's no time here. There's no. Wait. Timeout. Timeout. Initializing the network. We do this, we do that. Well, this is the server. This is the part we care about. And we set the network peer, although we don't set it this way. We use the setter itself. But that doesn't matter. We can get the previews. We can check if the tree is initialized as a server or client. Terminate network feature setting to null. Okay. Timeout. Maybe a timeout is what we should search for. Let's see. These functions are mainly used for lobby management. Yes, that is true, but that's not what we need. We need a function. We need a property. We want to set the timeout value. There has to be a default value set somewhere, because after all, we are waiting a certain amount of time. I don't know how long that is, but we're waiting regardless. I want to reduce the wait time. That will force us to recheck a little faster than we are right now. How do we do that? Set pause. No, that's not it. There's a lot of useful information here. This is a really good tutorial. Okay. Godot Engine multiplayer set timeout value or property. Timer. No, we don't have a timer. Oh, there's an issue apparently. Oh god. So using the latest Godot Master Branch, I'm working on a multiplayer game. Now sometimes I get about half an hour into the game and there's a lag spike. And then I get disconnected as the result. It seems if some packet exceeds its timeout, which causes a disconnect by the server. The client then locks up in packet peer UDP something something and it waits for something, which is meant to be non-blocking. Question mark. Okay, about 30 seconds. The client will continue and detect the disconnect. During this time, the game is totally locked up. I cannot even get a signal to be emitted from the clients waiting for the server. Okay. There's a delay in process. There's a delay in do it everywhere. Okay. OS del. Oh, okay. Interesting. There has to be a way to set the timeout, right? Timeout. What if I search for timeout? The keyword timeout. Maybe there's documentation somewhere. Let's see. Search help. Timeout. HTTP request. No. Bad node. That's the worst node in this engine. Ooh, network limit. Yes! Maybe this one. We have project settings. Really? What happened? What about what? Hello, by the way. Welcome, Christopher. There seems to be properties in the project settings we need to fix. Network limits. Oh, here we go. Let's reduce. I don't think that's what we're looking for. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the one, because I don't think we waited 30 seconds, did we? Let's do a test. I want to see how long-ish we had to wait. Let's open the server. You know, when I think about it, I don't even need that. Let me just start the client again. Let's remove that one. That one's sneaked in there. You sent me a link. Go to a Reddit post. I cannot see that from YouTube. You should probably try to share that on Twitch chat if you can. I have a Twitch somewhere. Hopefully in the description of the video. Do I? I may not have that. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Let's go to twitch.tv/. Hold on, wait. I think I added commands, but I don't know if that works. Social? No. Twitch? No. Twitch TV. I'm just gonna write it out. Try that one. Let's stop that. Let's 2 seconds. Okay. So it should be 32 now. Wait, I missed? Hold on. Wait, reset. Okay, so about 2 seconds in, I started this. Let's see how long it waits. Can you see the link on the screen? No, you can't. Yeah, you can. But it's not being sent on Twitch though, so that's annoying. Let me try this one. That works, right? Yeah, that works. Almost there? Almost there? There! Okay, close enough. So there is 30 seconds. Let's fix that. Let's reduce it to, let's say, 5. But I do worry that we may get issue later on. we'll see. This is just for testing anyway. We don't really need to do this when we create a stable version. I just want to make sure when I test this, when I'm in the game, I don't want to rejoin the game over and over and over again. When I'm fixing the server. So now the server goes down. Oh wait a moment. Let's try it again. Oh, hold on. There we go. So now the server goes away. Oh no. Let's start the server again. See what happens. We're gonna wait 5 seconds or so. Which is oh wow, that's pretty fast. Very good. Server goes down again. It disappears. The server sucks. But the client's still up. It's still running. It's still there. Oh, I'm back. Yes, in the game again. Yeah, action. Okay, good. I'm done with this. We're done for now. We can still improve it by adding a message and so on when we disconnect, but I'm not going to bother with that just yet. For now, let's go on to the next task. Let's see. Hey Google, change the office light strip to green.
Sorry, I can't find any lights that can change color. You can...
There we go, that's better. Green is good. Let's take a look at the remaining tasks. We have done this, finished! Now we need to add player data to the database. Now we need to add player data to the database and use it. Oh, really? Welcome, Chris. Had to run to the computer? Are you telling me you're not on the computer when you watch streams? Reddit, Godot, comment. Sure, I'll look at that. Why not? Wait, let me make sure it's safe first. It looks safe. Okay. You never know. I mean, how to wait until the connection to server is established. I'm making a client-server multiplayer card game, and in the menu, user has the options to host and to connect. There's also a line edit where the user can type its server's IP. When the user clicks on connect button, I will show a label that says connecting. Now I want to wait for 15 seconds for the connection to be established, and I found documentation for timer. No. I mean, oh wait, hold on. You're right. That's a good idea. You can wrap that the signals in a node and add a timer to restart that process over again. And the signals, the connection to, disconnected to, and so on only lives there. Okay, so there's options for this. Timer, wait time. What? Add child, IP port. What is reconnection? Okay, cool. Ooh. Someone is banking on the recent events. We've seen this one last time. I really like this one. I hope we can do this. I would love to have more colors in Godot that makes it more segregated, the components that we work on, or with rather, in the UI. Wow, cool. How does that work? Hold on, wait. Is it random? Is Tetris? What? But how does it work? Do you do something? Is it random? I like that idea. That's kind of cool. Or can you control the level? I don't know. That's really cool. That's cool. Why am I here? See, you distracted me. Oh, cool. Looks like a skull though. It's kind of scary. You know, like maybe players would be intimidated. I don't know. Okay, enough. Stopping this now. Let's continue. Thank you, buddy, for sharing that. It gave me ideas, and so yes, it did help me. Let's add the player to the database and save the position on the player when he or she quits to the database. That is going to be hopefully much easier than what we just did. It should be done in half an hour, I hope. Speaking of which, I have about half an hour left today, because before I have to end, maybe I can stretch it to an hour, but probably half an hour. Because I have work tomorrow morning. And actually on the weekend, I'm gonna be focusing on videos. We're gonna go through this project together. We're gonna figure out what to make guides out of. What videos should we make on YouTube from this work? And when we have made 2-3 videos, we're gonna go back to another 2-week project of this. Because I really want to work on this project. That's the plan. So on Friday, tomorrow is gonna be the last day of working exclusively on this. Which means Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be probably streaming while I'm working on tutorials. We will go through our project, which we have done now in the 2 weeks, figure out what can be helpful to teach, what can be helpful to share with others. And we'll create new projects where we will prepare ahead of time a guide by creating the project, the finishing product, and then we'll reverse engineer and create a guide out of that, and we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to record the video while I'm streaming. That may be a bit awkward. Like, hello everyone, my name is Ivan Scott, and today we're going to create a new guide with multiplayer networking. And then I'll say something wrong, I have to go stop. Reset. I don't know. Maybe that'll be fun. Let's see. Back to the business. We need database for our players. So I'm going to create a new folder right here. The name of our database folder is going to be player. And in here, I hope to be able to copy this. Let's copy this and see if we can make something out of this. This is going to be the player API. Bam. I do realize though, I probably can have a player node, or rather in player class like this, because we already have a player class, I believe, maybe. Let's see. What's that? Really? I have 0 subscribers on YouTube? What nonsense is this? I just realized. Let's see. I'll fix that later. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I can, 0 is fine. That's more than enough. I'll still make videos from time to time. What was I doing? Player API. Let's create the player API. Maybe I'll rename this to repository or something, because API can be misleading. But we can do that later. It's not so important. We want to create a new logger for our player API. Script. I guess I can write .gd here. And we can keep the same logging. We will have a new log file named api.log where this will show up in. So when we start, we want to create a new client, and that is fine. That's the same as before. When we want to get players, how are we gonna do that? I guess we do it the same way as we did before. And a batch of 20. We can probably increase that to 100 or so, because it's not that expensive to get that data. But do we even need to get all the players? I don't think we need to get a list of players unless we want to make an API for you guys, that when we have a game up and running, a server where people can join and do whatever they want, we can have a playlist with high scores and whatnot. I don't know. Why is the page 87 the default? Let's change that to 1. Let's make sure to change that in the entity API as well. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. There's a lot of things going on here. Yeah, sure, why not save? There we go. The 2 scripts we care about. So in the player, we want to get the players. This is, you know, this could be a search feature. Fine, let's just keep to this for now. API player. This will be the API to get our players. Page size will remain the same. Our response will remain the same. If our response code is okay, we're gonna create a players list. And that list is something we're gonna use. We're gonna create a new player, and this is gonna be a player PTAO, I guess, because this is a data. These are data objects. So perhaps we should rename this to DTO. Now DTO is just a data transference object. It usually has the data you would expect when you're trying to send data from one service or, well, API to another user or service or someone else. So when I receive this data, it's essentially the data that belongs to an entity DTO, data transference object. And it would allow us to differentiate it even better than this. I guess, why not? Because we already have a player scene. And I'd rather not have a player class together with the PlayerAPI API, because that may confuse things even further. We would expect a player DTO of sorts in order to translate the data we receive from the database and create an object such as this. This is just an object that allows us to convert to JSON from dictionary to a entity, from JSON to a entity as well. So let's change that to entity DTO. I'm going to rename a few things. We're gonna get a few issues, but that's the way of developing. That's the life we have chosen. At least I hope you have chosen if you're doing this. There we go. So now we need to update a few things. This class is fine. This class is not fine. We need to update this to this. And let's hope we got everything. This one to this one. And probably... Entity DTO cannot be fully loaded. That's just nonsense. Wait. Entity. There it is. What else? Do we have any other entities we've gotten here? Match case. Whole words. Okay, let's turn off whole words. Let's try this then. Good, and good. Yes, we got everything now. We can ignore this. Who cares? It is wrong. Class is now entity detail, so you have to change that as well. Let me search for the string entity, see if it's used anywhere. It doesn't seem to be used, so that's good. Let's see. This looks fine. Let me try to start this and see if it still works. But the player API is now complaining because we don't have a player DTO, we don't have a player. Let me comment this out for now. I want to run this and make sure we can still run the game, the server rather. Hello Slacks, welcome. Welcome back. As you can see, there's a little change since last stream. I'm green. This is not a valid, yes, because we changed it to an entity DTO. Let's see, is that it? Is that everything? Hopefully that's everything. Let's try to run again and see if we get something. There we go, excellent. It now works. Let's continue on with the player API. We need to get the players from the database. Database. This is just a general query to get all the players using a page size and page number. What do we need to add here? We need to add this one. Everything else, I believe, can remain identical. let's change this to well, we cannot use response. Okay, response player. Let's see, what do we have here? Player. Let's change this to player. I mean, I could name it player DTO. I don't know. New player DTO. What else? Player. Oh yeah, why are we doing that? That's that may be a mistake. I'll leave that comment there. Let's see, anything else you forgot? Are there any more entity references? Yes, that one. Layer. DTO. What else? Layer DTO. Yeah, it looks fine. I should probably change this and add this to the database itself. Database get client. So we don't have to use this. So in our database singleton, we're gonna add another function called getClient. And if our client is null, we're gonna create a new client. How did I do that? I didn't. Let's try again. Let's see. How do I populate this? Where am I doing that? I have to set this somewhere. There. Okay. So you set a new web client with this. So let's move that to get client. I guess we could use initiate client. Ah, whatever. There we go. If our client is null, we're gonna create a new one right away, so we can use it and reuse the code. So here we add database client. We can remove this function. Still complaining about this one, even though it's wrong. And we have proof. We even ran the code and it works just fine. Where is the... we're missing... yeah, we're missing the player DTO. Let's create that. Player DTO. That reminds me. Let me test something from my stream window. Does that work? No? Because I tried to add a bot, but I couldn't get that to work. Let's see, how about here? Testing here. Ah, there it works, okay. So the problem is my chat doesn't work. I cannot chat from my stream window to Twitch for some reason. That's weird. Let me take a little look here. Give me a second here. Streaming tools. No, that's not it. Oh, interesting. Boards. Where is the settings? Stream, channel, moderation. Here it is. I need to add. How do I add them? Screw it. I'll do it later. I'll do it after if I can remember that. Hold on. Add Twitch bot from Restream chat. There we go. Okay, back to business. Let's not waste more of our own time. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Did I show you the videos? I have found my old videos. Now, I don't know how many of you are from the beginning of today's stream, but I found our prototype videos where I demonstrate how the game may look. At least if I'm the one making the art, that's the way it's gonna look, probably. Let me try this. Let me open this. The music is gonna stop for a moment. There's no sound, by the way. Let me play this. Let me play this. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. Can I move this to the left window here? There we go. This is an example of how the game may look once we start, once we get going. At least the art style, if I'm the one making it. I hope to get some other artists involved, and I will be paying for that help to make sure, you know, I get it. But the perspective is going to remain the same. It's going to be a top-down type of game. And I believe I can show you, yeah, this is a more recent one. In this example, you see how the player looks at the mouse. And that's the way we're going to be making the game. And the perspective is still the same. So when you build houses and whatnot, you will be able to go inside the houses. And then the perspective will change. You will see inside the house. Now, what's not included in this is the field of vision. You will not be able to see what's behind the walls. Because after all, this is a role-playing game. Or hopefully it will be. So it'll be really interesting to see how that's going to work. What else? Do I have something else? Wait a moment. I think I have one more video somewhere. Give me 1 second. Stream project. Project PTAO. There it is. I found it. It's resource. Run the videos. What? Okay, fine. Give me 1 second here. Projects, but how? There it is. Here's another prototype. This demonstrates how you may build with some debugging enabled. I'll make it a window so it's obvious that it's a video. And this example, we're using something called marching squares to calculate, well, shapes. It allows you to draw and make kind of rounded shapes instead of having, and it will calculate that for you automatically. So you wouldn't have to, you know, select a specific shape. So if you want to make a corner, you don't have to go and select a corner shape. It will just be a corner by drawing. So we're gonna get this probably pretty soon. Once we get the procedural generation up and running, so we can have trees, so we can have rocks, so we can have things to interact with and get materials from, we will begin creating, well, inventory. Probably before that, or at the same time, I don't know. But at some point, we're probably going to return to this and add some marching square logic in order to draw what you want to build. That may have advantages as well as a few disadvantages. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess, as they say. Let me turn the music on again so we can have some sounds. There we go. Wonderful royalty music. Okay, back to the game. Where were we? Let's ignore all this. That's not an error, it's just a mild warning. Or rather, a more important warning. Still unimportant. Let's see. Player DTO, that's what you're trying to make. Let's create a class name, player DTO. Let's do some copy pasting here, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. This will be our, well, our template for all our DTOs. We need to set the data we want. We know we're gonna have an ID. We know we need a username. Perhaps, yeah, username. We might change that to player name though, at some point. I don't know. Let's see. What else? We have a player position. We need to store that as well. And we have data. Now, I don't know what that is going to be. That can be anything. It can be player notes, for all I care. Maybe a moderator will add a note to this player. This player is suspected for cheating. Keep an eye on him. And then this will be a good place to save here. Because it's not something I can plan ahead. I have no idea if we're gonna do that now. So this is basically a catch-all JSON string that you can save in the database. Let's change this to username. Username. Let's fix this so it looks right. Yeah, that's about right. We got what we need. What else do we need? We need a username, which is what we currently use to identify a player. And we have a position. We need to save. Well, do we need to save passwords? No, we don't need to save passwords as long as we can use third-party authentication and login, such as Google or even Twitch. Maybe Twitch will be a good API to work against or towards. But then again, more people probably have Google. Anyhow, when we get that far, we will look at it, but not now. Let's focus on the fun stuff, not the backend and authentication and login. I mean, once we have something to release, then I'll work on the authentication probably. Otherwise, it will be problematic. Let's look at the player. What do we need to save? The player currently have a radius. This is used for validation. Anti-cheat. Yeah, used for anti-cheat. We have a position and a velocity. I'm a bit unsure if we need velocity on the server side, but we have it anyway. Because we need to give this to other players, so other players can see each other move on a certain speed instead of just seeing a position logging in place. We don't want a position log. We want it to behave like a player. And we have a speed hack check, which is pretty neat. So there's not a lot we need to say really right now. Let's go to the database, I guess. Database API and see if we can fix something. This seems fine now. We have what we need, position username. Everything else should be the same. Well, except this one. This is going to be player PTAO class. And what this does is there is a default get class on every node. Well, it should be at least. Where is it? Get class. Method, get class. On object rather. Every object has its class and you can override that class manually. And that will allow us later to compare. Is this object a player DTO? Yes or no? That's up to you. So let's see here. Let's open the backend API, the big and scary monster. That's the wrong one. Where's the right one? There it is. Let's add, I begin adding a player. We don't need node ID. I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. We need a username, and that has to be unique. Cannot be two of them. What else? Position and data. That's about it. That looks fine. We need to add a player repository. I'm gonna copy the entity repository because it's quite empty. Change this to player, and we're done. Now we need to go to the controller. We need the controller for the player. Let's copy the entity controller and replace it with a player controller. And what this will do, we can change this entity player. Better yet, all of these use entity in front of it. Let me change this and put it up here. This get mapping is empty. This is just going to be dash list. This is going to be dash ID. Same with this one. And same with this one. Slash all. Remove this. And we should be good. Okay, next step. We need to change this to be the player repository. The player database. I'm going to rename this. Player repository. Cancel. I don't want to rename this. This should remain the same. But now I rename these. What else? We need to change this to be the player repository as well. We need to change this to be a player. Same with this, and this. Create new players. What else? Read. We receives an optional player. If we have a player, we are going to return that player. I can do a one line, but I don't want to do that. Let's do the same here. Change all the entity with a player. Very good. There we go. And then we have all, delete all function, because we want that when we test this project. Because I'm using Postman to create test data. So I won't have to mess around with in-game code to prepare. So this should return a page of players. Why is this? Yes, because we are setting in an entity filter. We want to change that to a player filter. So hopefully that should work. Filter, player, pageable, that's right. I don't know why it's not find all in player repository. Why is that? You should be able to find all. Find all, where's that? Query by example. Ah, I see what's wrong. I forgot to update something here, didn't I? Yeah, this one. This should be a player. Because we are extending two of them. Two interfaces that has different functionality. Going back to the player controller. Now it should be good. Yes, it is. What else? Have you forgotten something? Headers. Duplicate lines of code. Yes, I know. That's fine for now. That's not important right now. Okay, I think we're ready. I think the player API is ready. And that's all there is to it. So if I now stop this, double check we're updating, so we should be creating the new table as we run our backend API. Good. Let's try it out and see if it works. I'm gonna create a new folder called PlayerAPI. And create another one. It's gonna be the Entity API. And I'm gonna drag the existing requests into the Entity API so we can organize it a little better. So let's copy this one, paste it in here, and rename this to Player. Layer. This should work but return nothing. And it works and it returns nothing. If I remove this, it should return a list of nothing. And it does. Good, so it works. If I wanted to create a player, I can do that as well. In the database. Let's create our own data. Let's find the data. We have a JSON somewhere that we are going to replace in our data folder. We don't want to use JSON. We want to use a database. There we go. So going back to Postman, we can find something. Now, I do apologize. I realize we're jumping back and forward on the screen there. Hopefully it's not too disturbing. Let's see. This is going to be the player create. The body consists of a username, username and position. I guess that's it, right? Now in our JSON, we have a username, position, and movement speed in a stats. So perhaps we want stats. Now movement speed is something we probably, all players would have, right? So we don't need to add a special dictionary for that alone. So let's create, movement speed. And set that to 240. And then we have inventory, but that will come later. We're not gonna add that here. And we have a guest, so we're gonna create that one as well. Before I now insert this into the player, we will need to update the database because I don't have movement speed here. That's going to be a kind of a double, I guess. Name is movement speed. The reason I'm using double is because it's more accurate than, say, a float, even though it probably doesn't matter. You know what? It doesn't matter. Because we're not going that out in decimals ever. This is mandatory, so nullable false. The only thing here that is not mandatory is the data. Oh, my naming convention is off here. There we go. Now I need to stop this and hopefully it's gonna update. Okay, I'm gonna stream for a little bit longer, probably 10 more minutes, and I will have to end it for today. I'm gonna finish setting up the player database and getting the play data, and we'll be ending the stream. It's been going a bit long for today, or rather, not long but late. Okay, here we go. Let's test this and see if it works. I suspect we may have an issue because I need to recreate the database. Yeah, this is not right at all. Why are we getting that? Is it because it doesn't recognize this? What? Ah, yes. What am I doing? Username, PP Pistol. Ivan, position 200. 200, I guess. There we go. Okay, now it worked when we set that. However, we got an error in the database because we don't allow multiple of the same username. So I need to do is I need to add some sort of error handling in the backend. I haven't done much in the backend in terms of that. I should probably do that. Add response validation error handling. Check my other work. I have done this a lot. I just never remember how to do it. So I just copy paste from one project to another. So now it's correct. I have to name it this way, otherwise it won't work. Let's create our guest, our lovely, lovely guest. Who else? But that guest was slow. Remember, let's say 100. Create. No, it's not gonna spawn here. It's gonna spawn at 0, 0. Because who cares? It's a guest. Default values. Level 1. We'll add levels. That would be fun. No, maybe. How about no levels? No levels. The player doesn't have a single level. What the player has is skills. There's no level to rule them all. There are skills. The more you work on this thing, guess what? You're gonna be better than it. That's the plan. Oh my god, it's a good idea. Okay, create guest. Bam, done. Now, if I check the players, I should get a list of 1. What? I am confused. Let's see, what's wrong? API player. Player. Hold on. List. Entity. Yeah, this should work, right? It should work. Yeah, this works. It's a get request, right? Get request player, yeah. Why am I not getting more than one? That's really, really strange. Let's find out. Player controller, let's move this down so we can see. Read. It should be this one that triggers. Read. Yeah, this is strange. Yeah, we're getting a list. That's right. But why are we not getting more? Oh, wait, I know why. Because we have a float. We're searching for float. Now, if you're curious to know why, I will tell you. And it's gonna take 30 seconds. This filter is what we use in order to search for certain things. When I say filter, I mean when we send a data with, let's say, question mark ID equals 5, then we're gonna get in an ID of value 5 and search for that as a filter. But because this was a float, the default value of a float is 0, which means we are in reality searching for any player with a movement speed of 0. The more you know. So I'm gonna change that to upper capital float object, which will allow it to be null. Meaning we don't have any default values on the player itself. So now, once I restart this, it shall work once again. And we will get 3 players. No more, no less. Yes, we have VP Pistol player. So if you invite that username right now, you're gonna log in as this player. And then me, movement speed 240, high level, high brain, big skill. And then we have guest, only 100, standard, subpar, subpar. Let's take a look here. So now we need to get the data from the database and we can be happy for the rest of the day. We are now on the server. Let's find out. Let's go to our world scene, because that's where all the interesting things happen. World. Load entities. Load entities. Load entities. Here's another false error. It's an issue with Godot with this, I'm sure. But the player is not loaded here, it seems. So perhaps in the server. Let's go to the server and take a look at the scripts. Start server, create server, connect, da-da-da-da. Respond with authentication. Player data. Get player data from username. We're gonna change this to PlayerAPI. Get player with. Oh, get username. Get player with username. So let's create that in the PlayerAPI. Func, get player with username, var username. How are we going to do that? First of all, I'm gonna copy this. It's gonna be the same except this one. We're gonna not add the query parameters to this. We are going to be doing this and some of this. So we're creating a URI, which we are going to be calling, which is the -API-player, and that's fine. We're doing a GET request. That will give us the search result of everything. Just give us everything. I think. Oh yeah, we should have this also, pagination. We should have this as well. Yeah, I'll add that. And I'll set some default values. I only want 1. I want 1, because there should only be 1 result anyway. And we don't actually need to set this. Yeah, we don't need to set it, even though it's a search query like that. Nah, let's not do that. No, we do. Oh my god, my bad. We do need query parameter. It's gonna be username. Username. There we go. Because now we're gonna be searching for the API player, and the username equals whatever my username is, which is, you know, Ivan. And that's going to return that user. It's still going to return a list, but it should contain only 1. So we can use the same code. So we're not going to return playlist. At the end of this, we're going to verify. If player list size is equal to 1, that means everything is good. And that will be the case. So we don't need to do that. Let's just make sure we have something. Does empty work on a array? Does it work? Can I use empty? Yes, it does. Good. That'll make it even better. Empty. As long as it's not empty. Then we will return the first result in our wonderful list. Else, well, we don't need else. Just add a an error. Yeah, no, it's not possible. If this happens, bad things should happen. So let's continue. It should work now, in theory at least. Let's try it out and see if it works. When we go to the server now and we're trying to fetch the data from our PlayerAPI, which I replaced the other one, we are going to be setting this in load player data. We're sending the player data to the other players. Now, I believe the format may be slightly different now. I'm gonna print this and see what we get. Let's run it and see what happens. Error! Oh no! Entity! Oh yeah. We don't return entities here. Let's close this again, try it again. Make sure we have... What? Get client. Oh yeah, that's true. We don't have a client anymore. We use this. That should work, right? It better work. The reason I used get client once upon a time was because for somehow we got in here before we got here. What's wrong suddenly here? Oh yeah, we don't have this anymore. Failed to get list of player PTAO. Failed to get player PTAO with username and then the username. Okay, we don't have get client anymore, so let's try client. I wonder if I should put this in ready or rather in func init. I'm thinking this is faster. Let me test this out. Because I'm not sure which is faster. I think this is faster. When everything is ready, then we run this. Let me double check. What's this? Get client. Yes, let's fix that one, shall we? Client. Do you have another one somewhere? Get client. No, it seems fine. Ah, yes. What's wrong here? We don't have an entity. That's true. We have players. That should hopefully be it. Or we get more errors. Yes, another error. Non-static function get player with username. Oh yes, that's true. Let's add the player API to the top. Where should I add it? Var players player API. Was it players or player? Singleton database player equals new. Hold on, did we do that though? Yeah, it's fine. Wait, hold on. How did I access the yeah, I did make this. Okay, I'm just checking that I did it with this one as well. Or if I didn't. Or... Let's go back to wherever it was. This server. Here it is. So with our player API, I'm gonna use that one. Let's try it again. Let's see. Get client isn't declared in the current class. Another one. They keep sneaking in. Client. Okay. Do we have more? Another one. Okay, let's fix that one as well. Jeez. If only we had, you know, better error searching. Yeah, it's null. That's because... Let's try to change this to initiate. We're now in the entity API. Let's see if it works. Here we go. Yes. Now the question is, are we going to load players now? I will have to change the player API here, because we're gonna get the same nil error. Restart once again, and now is the moment of truth. If this works, that means our stream will be over for today and we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Hopefully I'll have more time. If not Friday, Saturday. And on Saturday we're gonna work on tutorials. Until probably Monday we'll return on this again. I'm gonna work my ass off this weekend because I want to finish the tutorial so we can get back to this. So I'm thinking 2 or 3 good tutorials and I'll be happy from our 2 weeks so far. This is not what I wanted to stop. It was the client I wanted to start. Let's see what happens in the logs on the left side. While we're on the right side, join the game, connect. Oh no! Assertion failed. Failure imminent. Are we not getting the same? We should be getting the same web client. Hold on, what's wrong here? Why are we failing this one? This is correct. Do we have a good description? The content line is declared whenever used in the block. That's a good point. Why do we have this here? We are not even creating this. We are not using this yet. Okay. See, erase, returns to value but never used. That's fine. We don't care. Let's see. Player API get player with username. Then we go here. Response client. We have a client, right? Yeah, we have a client. Then we go into the retrieve method. We perform a call. We get all the way to here. You set up. You make a request. Let's see what we have. Can I? Body is null. Is that normal? Yeah, it's a get request. That's fine. No, wait. Maybe that's what's wrong. What else? Headers is null. That isn't right. Why is it null? Headers cannot be null. Okay, so we have an issue with the headers now. Why? This should be building headers for us. Right here. Have we not set headers here? Player API. Let me look at the entity API. Yeah, we don't have headers here. Headers. Where is setting the headers? No, this is right. Is it right? Get client. Yeah, set the headers, right? Set the headers, delete the headers. This is fine. Ah, okay. No, it's just I realized in the logic we're not checking these headers. We're checking the response objects headers. Request object. My bad. Not the response object. Let's see what else. This should be fine. There's nothing wrong with this. There's something wrong inside here. I think that the body cannot be null. We're trying to send a body with it. I suspect this is why. I don't know if this is why, but that's the only... No, we have headers right here. Good, good, good. And our body is empty. Status is 31. Okay, what is 31? Let's see. Yeah, no. Error. Okay. Invalid parameter. Okay, so hopefully it is the body that's its fault. That is at fault. If body is null, else and the reason I put this on top is because there's more likely we're gonna do get calls where we have no body than it is to have a body when you create something. So we add this first. So let's try it again and see if it works. Running the server. Get the log up and running. Why am I stopping the client though? Didn't we fix this? I don't have to restart the client. But it froze. Okay, we have to restart the client because it broke. It broke. Join. Oh no. What's wrong? Let's see. Status 31. Why is it invalid? What's that mean? Headers. Hold on. Let's look at the let me try a postman call. Is this right? How is my call here? Let's see, URI is, this is right as well. It should work at this, so there's nothing wrong with this part. This part is accurate. So there's something else part, headers. This is also correct and the same as all the others. There's nothing different. But I do notice that we don't have a, we're missing something. We're missing content length. This part. Wait, are we? Hold on, wait. What's going on here? Wait for success. When response received. When we receive a response. The response, oh yeah, we don't send something. Yeah, that's true, never mind, we're not missing that, and never mind. Because our body is null, so we don't add this. Right? I mean, we're getting the entities the same way. So why is this failing? What is different? What is new? Invalid parameter? Can I clear this and try it again? Let's clear this, all the errors. Make it easier to spot if there's something important going on. Debugger 1. Okay, condition status connect is true. Invalid parameter. Let's learn about that one and what that means. What does that mean? Error, invalid parameter. Really? You're telling me this is an invalid parameter error? Error already exists. Already exists error. Error does not exist. Does not exist error. These comments are amazing. I love these comments. These are just perfect. Very helpful. Like really. Now this is a better comment. This actually explains something we wouldn't know otherwise. Okay, enough about me complaining about the comment. Let's figure out what the cause of this can be. We know our parameters is valid. We have tested it ourselves. We checked it. There is no reason for it to not works. Our body is empty, and that there's never been a problem with that. Our parameter is part of the URI. The username equals Ivan. Request type 0. Hold on, it's the same. HTTP client. I just want to see a method get. What number is that? Yeah, get request is correct as well. There's nothing wrong with this. I cannot explain why this would fail. I have no clue whatsoever. Are we not closing this? We should close this. Oh. Yeah, autoclose is true, right? Yeah, it's close. We're closing it, so there shouldn't be a problem with that. But we'll have to get to this later. I have to end the stream now. I've been working all night, and someone is calling. So next time, hopefully I will have solved this by then. I will fix this between the stream probably, if I can. I will continue next time on the saving the player position when she or he quits, and that's going to be really easy. And we're going to focus on the player. We're going to add sprites, animation, turning, and cursor, and all the fun things on the player, finally. So thank you all for joining. I have to go now. I have to cut the stream short. Have a good day. Or night.